shit's in the safe. Got me a spot out the way. Nigga just tryna be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Because I think about balance. Now, honestly speaking, LSU, Ohio State, whoever's number one, so be it, okay? This kid, Justin Fields, do y'all know he's got 33 touchdowns? 33 touchdowns. 33 touchdowns, just one interception. Oh, by the way, an additional 10 touchdowns running the football.
Are we having a Heisman conversation?
No. I'm just saying, the brother can ball.
Flat-out play.
Not only that, I think about balance. I think about that Alabama game. Tua fumbling the ball untouched in their first drive. Jerry Jeudy, arguably the best wide receiver in college.
Still making excuses?
Stay with me. Stay with me. I'm gonna give you the floor. I promise. Because I know who I'm standing in front of, sitting in front of. Here's the deal.
I'm confused.
I got an elite receiver that dropped two touchdown passes. I got an elite quarterback that fumbled the football untouched while they were driving open and drive. And him playing on one leg, they still dropped 41 on your defense. The next week you come out against Ole Miss, you give up 38 points. Did you know that the Ohio State Buckeyes,
That's the difference. That's why Ohio State is the number one team in the country, because they good on both sides of the ball. They were snagged it against Penn State. They only scored 28. But their defense prevented them to score another point and hold them off so they could win that game. LSU, they've been getting up 30 or 40 points a game. They gave up 30 points against LSU. They in the playoffs, but at some point your defense gonna have to clamp down, because those three teams have packed offense. And you gonna need your defense to hold them off. Their defense been giving up a lot of points. Yeah, they had an offense to put up a lot of points, but you need your defense to help you out as well.
Ohio State Buckeyes have not given up more than 21 points in a game this entire season. Okay? And believe it or not, that was against Rutgers and somebody else.
They have a better defense than LSU.
They have a much better defense than LSU. Okay? They destroyed Wisconsin out of 38-7. Okay? They beat Penn State and they didn't fumble the damn ball twice. That have been a blowout as well this past weekend. I watched that game from start to finish. I don't watch too much college football from start to finish. I multitask with the college football thing. But I'm telling you right now, I watched that game start to finish. All I'm saying to you is this. When I look at LSU, I see an elite team that deserves props. I wouldn't have had a problem with them staying number one. But it's not like I'm going to lose it because they dropped to number two. Maybe if you play some damn defense, you wouldn't fall at number two.
I wish Big Spears was here to be looking down his glasses at you like Medea, because you got that foolishness again. This is the same thing you tried to come with. For a man who is so intelligent, so accomplished at his job. But you don't do this, Max. Okay. There's a lot of ifs in your explanation. If so-and-so doesn't fumble.
That was only
if
Alabama.
So-and-so
that was only Alabama.
But then you got to then you went to Ohio State and they blow them out if they don't fumble. But they did fumble. And then after fumbling, there was a backup quarterback that played for Penn State that runs off 17 straight because they can't stop him. I'm not saying that Ohio State isn't in the conversation. I'm not saying that when you look at these two teams, it's going to be splitting hairs.
And still haven't gave up 21 points. They hold them to 17. They ain't not a game plan against that backup. They was game plan for their star QB. That's why he could have did that, because they had no tape on him. They ain't know he was going to get in the game against them. That's why he could rack up 17 yards, because he know Ohio State wasn't prepared for him. Defense still ain't give up 20 points. They hold him to 17. That's why they send at number one, because they can play on both sides of the football. Their quarterback only threw one pick this year and 33 touchdowns. Everyone wanted to question Justin Fields, is he the truth or not, and he's showing you.
Who do you think has the better roster? Who do you think has the better players? But one team has gone out 4 different times in adverse situations and won. One team has been to Alabama when the other one hasn't, and given Alabama
One team
its only
doesn't find
loss.
themselves in that situation because they're that dominant.
But
The fact is they are balanced and have a defense that your school does not. And you play defense and they don't have defense.
When you play Wisconsin and Max Kellerman's playing quarterback for him, it's easy to say, okay, we're going to go out, stop Jonathan Taylor because they're one-dimensional. And then you play a Penn State team that already lost to Minnesota. It's not like Penn State came in as gangbusters against, and it was this undefeated team that couldn't lose. We expected Ohio State to win that game.
And then look at the LSU win at Alabama.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still a top 10 win. That helped Ohio State resume to stay in the playoffs and be able to be a #1 team. Your resume had to be that you had to beat some ranked teams, and that's what they did. Penn State was still 9-1 coming to that game. But Ohio State was the better team at the end of the day. And LSU, they had the offense to beat Alabama. They had their number this year. They could have lost that game at the end as well because they gave up 42 points against Alabama.
Nick Saban coaching. There was so much on the line there. Not just for a playoff berth, because you could easily be eliminated if you lose that game, and he's aware of it. At home, but I'm telling you, the entire era is shifted. This era, after Clemson wins the national title, I hate to break it to everyone, is the Dabo Sweeney era. Like, there's so much on the line, and so Alabama starts coming back. Like, this is it. This is destiny. This is Nick Saban. And LSU holds them off and wins the game.
Can I retort? You know, I'm looking at the schedule for LSU right here. Okay. Gave up 38 to Texas. Gave up 38 to Vanderbilt. Gave up 28 to Florida, which is not bad. Gave up 41 to Alabama. Gave up 37 to Ole Miss.
They won that
All
one,
I'm trying to say, they won every game. I'm sorry, Ohio State's undefeated too. Let's keep that in mind. All I'm trying to say to you is this. I think they got a suspect defense, and I don't think that Marcus Spears swagoo. All right, or Ryan Clark, teaching Greeny, Bonnets, or whatever the hell you do it. Don't get up in the morning. I don't think 2 star defensive players, formerly out of LSU, should be making an argument on behalf of LSU when your defense is strong. I really don't have a problem with that.
Stephen A. is reflecting the fact that the committee is illogical.
Like, I say this all the time. They switch in and out. You don't know what everyone will be ranked at because they change it so much that you don't even know. Tomorrow, LSU could be back at #1 and Ohio State could be back at #2. When the season over with, you don't know which team gonna be #1. Chase Young made Ohio State defense a big difference. But they defense hold it down when he wasn't even playing. That's how you know their defense is top notch. But Chase Young make that defense elevate higher. LSU, once they get in the playoffs, their defense has to show up and slow down them offenses. Because all three of them teams have good offense.
Let me tell you how they're illogical, okay? Once upon a time, it was important
Are we listening to Spot? Are we listening to Spot Kellerman right now?
Yes,
go
Captain.
ahead.
Spot Kellerman,
Quite illogical. Go ahead.
Once upon a time, it was important to determine it subjectively, like, who do you really think would win if they played? Who do you really believe is the best? Because that was the national title.
Yep.
Now there is a playoff. That's how we determine who's best. So for the committee to insist that it's really who they believe would win the game in terms of ranking is ridiculous. The ranking needs to be based on what you've done to earn the ranking. Then we'll see who wins the game.
No disagreement there, but I will tell you this, where the ranking also becomes important. Everybody's acting like there's no difference between that 1 or 2 seed. The 1 seed plays the 4. 2 seed plays the 3. So it doesn't matter. I'm saying it doesn't.
Here's why it matters. Hey, and here's the setup, Mr. Alabama man. I'm gonna show you the setup, right? Now, when we beat Georgia, in the SEC championship, and it's about Alabama and Utah moving into the 4th spot. You move Alabama into the 4th spot, and they don't have to play LSU because LSU isn't #1. And
That's probably what y'all want.
And so they
That's probably what y'all
First
want.
off, it's absolutely what I want.
Yeah.
So listen,
I resemble that remark.
Yeah, I'm not gonna come over here and lie and be like, oh yeah, I can't wait to play Nick Saban again. Nobody wants that. But this way, you slide them in, and you.
I think it's gonna be tough because they don't have to it. If they was ordinary to get into the playoffs, it's gonna be tough to win with Jones. Cause without Tua, Alabama not a good team to me, but they still good enough to win and get in the playoffs. They still have a good defense to win a championship. Man, Jones could do enough to help them win. Without Tua, it's gonna be tough to get in the playoffs. I feel like you had to put the work in to get in there. I feel like you have to win your conference championship to make the playoffs. Or at least play in it to be in the playoffs. If you're not going to play in no championship games, you don't deserve to get in the playoffs.
You guarantee a spot in SEC champion. I mean, in the championship to SEC team, but you don't have to say that these two teams have to play week 1. This is the setup. This is the setup to show you we're going to give you Ohio State and Alabama. We're going to give you LSU and Clemson because we've never seen it before. And everybody's going to be happy. They're just setting it up to move this team in, Stephen A., because you've been on the phone with them and other people been on the phone with them to try to make sure this is what we get.
I was on the air yesterday saying Alabama didn't deserve to be in the top 4. You didn't listen.
All right, guys.
What you going to say after they beat Auburn?
Talk to me, Mike.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more